The lights of Sydney shone brighter than ever that night. The kind of glow that doesn't just illuminate the field, it burns into memory. The final T20 of the Australia vs India series, 2025. A decider, a battlefield, and on that pitch, two nations stood at the edge of cricketing history. No one could have predicted what was about to unfold. The stadium was sold out, yet somehow, it felt silent before the storm. The crowd's roar hadn't yet begun, it was that eerie calm before chaos. Cameras zoomed in on the captains, Rohit Sharma on one side, Mitchell Marsh on the other, both knowing this was more than a game. It was pride, legacy, revenge. Australia had taken an early lead in the series. India had clawed back, inch by inch, match by match. And now, the scoreline was level. 2-2. One final match to decide it all. Sydney Cricket Ground was ready for war. The toss went in Australia's favour. Marsh didn't hesitate. "We'll bat first," he said confidently. The crowd cheered, the Indian fans booed, but everyone knew it was the right call. Under lights, chasing at Sydney was never easy. But India's bowlers came in with eyes of fire. Arshdeep Singh's first over set the tone, fast, furious, unrelenting. The white ball sliced through the air like a bullet. First delivery, dot. Second, dot. Third, edge. It flew past slip for four, and the crowd erupted. It wasn't just a boundary, it was a statement. Australia wouldn't back down. Travis Head walked in with that trademark swagger. The man who could destroy any bowling lineup on his day. But on the other end stood David Warner, playing his last T20I at home, a legend on his final dance. Every shot Warner played carried emotion. Every run felt like a memory being written into the sunset. The crowd chanted his name, Warner. Warner, as he cut, pulled, and drove his way to a blistering 50 off just 24 balls. Then came the twist. Arshdeep came back for his second spell. A slower ball, perfectly disguised. Warner went for the big one, caught it long on. Silence. Warner stood still for a second, helmet down, before walking off. The crowd rose. A standing ovation for the warrior of many summers. That moment alone could have ended the night with tears. But the match had only just begun. Head carried on the assault, and with Tim David joining him, Australia pushed the total past 180. Then 200. Then 220. It was carnage. Boundaries flew, the crowd roared, and Indian fielders looked desperate. Every time Rohit adjusted his field, the ball seemed to find the gap again. By the end of 20 overs, Australia stood tall, 228 for 5. A mountain to climb. Most thought the game was over right there. No one chases that in Sydney, said the commentators. Not under pressure. Not against Stark and Zampa. But India had other plans. Rohit walked out first, calm, focused, like a man on a mission. Next to him, young sensation Yashasvi Jaiswal, fearless, electric, unpredictable. The kind of player who could turn chaos into art. The first over from Stark was fiery, short balls, swinging deliveries, raw pace. Jaiswal was beaten twice, hit once on the glove, but then came the explosion. Third ball of the second over, Jaiswal danced down the pitch and lofted it over extra cover for 6. The sound of bat meeting ball echoed like thunder. The Indian fans roared to life. Momentum began to shift. Rohit, steady at first, started timing the ball sweetly. A flick for 4. A pull for 6. A straight drive that split two fielders perfectly. Suddenly, the impossible chase didn't look so impossible anymore. 50 came up in just 4 overs. 90 and 7. Australia started to feel it, the heat, the pressure, the noise. Then, disaster. Zampa tossed one up. Jaiswal went for the big slog sweep, and missed. Stumped. The crowd gasped. He was gone for 61 off just 29 balls. The young hero had set the fire, but now it was up to Rohit to keep it burning. Suryakumar Yadav entered, Mr. 360. The man who could hit the ball anywhere, anytime. And together, he and Rohit built something magical. Their partnership flowed like a movie scene, perfect timing, impossible shots, fearless intent. Every boundary was answered by the echo of, India. India. Across the Sydney night. With 50 needed off 30 balls, India were in control. Until Mitchell Stark returned. He bowled with vengeance. Rohit went for a pull, and edged it. Caught behind. Gone for 92. The silence that followed could have shattered glass. Rohit looked up to the sky, as if asking the cricket gods for one more chance. From there, chaos ruled. Hardik Pandya came in swinging. Sky tried to keep the chase alive. But wickets started tumbling. A slower ball here, a run out there. Every Australian cheer felt louder. Every Indian heart pounded faster. 22 needed off 12. 15 off 6. And then, 6 off 1. One ball left. One shot to win. The entire world seemed to hold its breath. At the crease, Rinku Singh. Facing Josh Hazlewood. 6 to win. 5 for a super over. Anything less, and it was over. Hazlewood ran in, eyes locked. He pitched it full, right in the slot. Rinku swung, clean, perfect, poetic. The ball soared high. Everyone looked up. The crowd screamed. Marsh on the boundary leapt. Fingers brushed the ball, but it went over. 6. Game over. India had done it. Rinku threw his bat, arms raised, tears in his eyes. His teammates sprinted onto the field. Rohit hugged him tight. The Indian fans erupted, drowning out everything else. The Sydney crowd, stunned, applauded the sheer madness they'd just witnessed. Australia had fought bravely. Warner had bowed out like a legend. But tonight belonged to India, and to a young man who refused to blink when the world did. As fireworks lit the sky, one thing became clear: cricket isn't just a sport. It's emotion. It's heartbreak. It's joy. It's every pulse racing in sync, every dream hanging in midair, until it finally lands beyond the rope. And when the dust settled, when the cheers faded, one truth remained. No one who watched that night would ever forget it. Because that wasn't just a T20 match. It was a story for the ages. A story of courage, chaos, and a single shot that changed everything.